morning. My name is John Taro, and I'm here to talk about practical research tool. The topic one is nature of inquiry and research. The objectives of this presentation, it will explain the meaning of research in relation to inquiry. Next, judge the applicability of inquiry or research to a given situation. Then find out the similarities and differences of research and inquiry. So let's start. And what is inquiry? It is an act of asking for information according to Oxford Dictionary. Asking information. Next, an official attempt to discover the facts about something. And lastly, the process of asking about or investigating something in order to find out more about it. So it is asking information, it is discovering facts, and it is investigating something to find out about something that you want to know. What about research?
What is research? The word research was coined from the two words, the prefix "re", which means again, and the word search, meaning you have to search again. To look for something again.
What is research? It is a systematic and objective creation of knowledge. It's a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information in order to increase our understanding of phenomenon about which we are interested or concerned. It includes any formal gathering of data, information, and facts for the advancement of knowledge. So you need to have research, and if you're talking about research, it talks about the creation of knowledge, and it takes process of collecting, analyzing, interpreting information in order to increase our understanding of a phenomenon. So it has process on collecting, like looking on what is the best information that you can have, how you will be able to analyze the data, how you will be able to interpret in order to come up with the knowledge that you are interested in or concerned. Let's compare the inquiry and research. When you talk about inquiry, it generates questions and seek out answers. Questions, where you want this, what is this? So let's really seek for an answer. Why you enrolled APM, why you choose gas, why you choose STEM. So it is an inquiry. So what about research? It follows a scientific and systematic process to establish facts and reach new conclusion. So when you talk about research, there is a systematic process and it establishes facts and research new conclusions. So, for example, why you choose their course? So you probably, or because you research that based on your NCI, you have more skills that is inclined in APM, inclined on mathematics, inclined on analysis and problem solving. That's why you choose APM. So when you talk about EVL, you are more on the skills. You love to do something that you want to do. So that becomes, you consider that research. So that's why you choose the course that you have or the strand that you have. So the research and inquiry seek information to have extensive knowledge. So in order for you to come up with a conclusion, in order for you to know the knowledge or create a knowledge that you want to know. So let's try to check this. So I will give you a scenario and tell me your answer, okay? If it is inquiry or research. So Jose is looking for the best cell phone for online class. Since we are already online because of pandemic, so of course, most of us are looking for the best cell phone to use in order for us to join the online class, in order for us to join the uh, conference like Meet or like Zoom or like chat room, in order for you to be updated with the class. So Jose is one student who is looking for the best cell phone, and he went to John Rex to ask the sales representative for the best model for online class. So based on this scenario, what do you think? Is it inquiry or research? You're right, it's an inquiry because Jose just went directly to John Rex because John Rex is a store that offers a different kind of cell phones, and asked the sales representative what is the best model for best model cell phone that is best for online class. Let's have another scenario. Still inquiry or research. Jose is looking for the best cell phone for the online class. He reads some reviews on the cell phone on the net and asks expert what is the best model for online class. So with this scenario, what do you think? Inquiry or research? Let's check. It's research because it follows a systematic and objective process. So Jose does not only end up going to store and buy the cell phone, but he read reviews on the net on like what is the best cell phone. Is it Samsung? Is it iPhone? Is it Huawei or Xiaomi? So it depends on what is the preference of Jose that would think the best cell phone for him on the online class. So he follows systematic and objective process. He looked reviews online and then asks expert on what is really the best cell phone that is available on the market. Now, last one. In this question, this will be used for you to answer your post test. So be sure that you should be able to know the code in order for you to proceed the post test. So with this scenario, Maria wants to enroll in senior high school and ask her mother the best school for APM Strong. What is this? Is it inquiry or research? Your answer would matter in order for you to proceed or answer the post test. Okay? Now, let's talk about the characteristics of research. It follows with the flow. So it starts with question. After you have the question, you need to plan on what really triggers or what particular questions that need something for you to have an answer. So you need to plan. Then when you have the plan, you will be able to formulate the statement of the problem. When you will be able to formulate the statement of the problem, the whole problem, then you have to chop it down to the sub-problem. So sub-problem would lead to hypothesis. Would it work? Would there be a relationship? And what would be the best? So with the hypothesis, you have to look for the facts and meaning in order for you to answer the hypothesis, for you to have answer and a sub-problem, and in order for you to answer the main problem or the statement of the problem. And if the facts is not enough, then you have to go back to more resources. Then if it's already, you think that it's already okay, then it becomes circular. It go back to the question. You need to plan, statement of the problem, sub-problem, hypothesis, facts, and meaning. Then it is a circular. So that's the characteristic of research. So you need to consider this thinks. Question, plan, statement of the problem, sub-problem, hypothesis, facts and meaning, and circular.
Every single peso is important and must be utilized.
Then on the module, we have lesson plan and lesson one. The lesson one have an objective. These are the objective. What is quantitative research? Characteristics, types, strengths and weaknesses, importance of research across field, and Definitions are established through collection of numerical data which are analyzed to derive generalization. So it is an inquiry that collects numerical data, and from the numerical data, it will be analyzed in order for you to have a generalization, a conclusion, a recommendation afterwards. Okay? So it's an inquiry that collects data and will be analyzed, and then you will be able to have generalization. Now, the characteristics of quantitative research. So it should be formal because it needs a process, it is systematic, it follows the characteristics of research. Where you plan, you have to create a statement of the problem, then you have to create hypothesis, then research, then the circular. Then you should have an objective, because without an objective, it would be very hard for you to reach your goal, achieve your goal on the queries. What you really want to know. Okay? Systematic process, the one that I've told you. Plan, come up with a statement of the problem, solve problem, hypothesis, then do the research, do the readings, then present in numerical forms. So after all the gathering of data, you have to index it. Index, like you have to categorize. You have to this references or readings would answer this problem. These references would answer this problem. You categorize it. Then after you have the numerical forms, then that's the time that you have to analyze the data using the statistical tools. Then you derive by describing and the test of relationship. Then with that, you will be able to examine the cause and effect relationship. So that's how the quantitative research will show. Types of quantitative research. So when you talk about quantitative research, it talks about numerical, but how you will be able to gather that. So there are ways, types of design. So you have survey, you have correlational, causal, comparative, and experimental. When you talk about survey or descriptive, it is observational and describe what is, and there are variables that are not controlled. And the intervention is no interventions. The common study design is the comparative descriptive design. And you have cross-sectional design, longitudinal design. So that's the survey or descriptive. When you talk about correlational, it explores and observes relationship among variables. Variable also is not controlled, and there should be no intervention applied. Same with survey, it talks about descriptive and correlation design, and predictive design, then model testing design. So there is a comparison of models. There is a predictive design that's based on the model. There is a correlation design that's based on the model. Okay? When you talk about causal comparative, it tests for causality within suboptimal variable control. There is an independent variable but not manipulated. There should have an intervention because there is a pre-test and post-test design. Pre-test only designs interruptive time series design. So if there is pre-test, there is a series of design. Okay? So when you talk about experimental, it is a test causality within optimal variable control. There is also independent variable is manipulated, and there is also an intervention. It is a classic experimental design, a randomized design, crossover design, and tested design. So these are the types of design. These are the types of quantitative research that we will be using when we will be doing our research. The strengths of quantitative research, it is faster and easier to do, useful in a given large sample or population, and speedily generate accurate, precise, and credible results, and use of statistical software. So because of the software constant we will be able to conclude and generalize a finding. It often reduces and structures a complex problem to a limited number of variables because it's based on it will reduce and restructures complex problem. You will be able to formulate a solve problem based on the variables that is available. It looks at relationships between variables and can establish cause and effect in highly controlled circumstances. It tests theories or hypotheses. It assumes sample is represented of the population. And subjectively of research and methodology is recognized less. So when you talk about quantitative, subjectivity is recognized less because more on the objectivity. So when you talk about across field, quantitative is used in medical field, household census, marketing research, and education. So when you talk about medical field, it is more on just like what happened today, COVID, and we cannot really deny the fact that still it is out there and it's still affecting. But the number, based on the number, our administrator was able to identify that it is okay to have a lesser strict in going out, but with the implementation of social distancing, with wearing your mask and shield. Household census is also using quantitative research and marketing research. So if you talk about marketing research, quantitative is very important. Why? Because you will be able to identify who will be your niche, who are your market. Is it age between 20 to 25, or is it 30 to 50, so on and so forth. With that, you will be able to classify your niche, identify your niche, who is really your target market. With the education as well, you will be able to know what would be the right approach in order for you to your students to understand you. So based on the quantitative research as well. Now, let's talk about the nature of variable. The variable is a measure characteristic that varies. It may change from group to group, person to person, or even which one person over time. So the variable may change based on the groupings, based on the persons, based on person over time. It depends on your respondents. The variable would really matter on what respondents that you will be choosing. So there are types of variables. You have independent variable, you have dependent variable, you have categorical, continuous, moderating, intervening, and extraneous. So let's look into this one individually. When you talk about independent variable is the probable cause of an event. It is independent of everything that experiment because once it is selected, it does not easily change. It is the variable that is controlled by the researcher since he may manipulate to determine if it will affect change in dependent variable. Okay. When you talk about dependent variable, outcome variable is the outcome of the study. It is affected by the independent variable. It changes as a result of the modification made on the independent variable. It is something that depends on other factors. So if the dependent relationship. And extraneous variables to be identified by the researcher. Identify the true relationship between the independent and the dependent variable. The effect of the extraneous variable may have to be controlled. Now, in order for you to answer the post test, you should be able to know the code that has been given on the previous slides. Okay? You have to answer the forms that will be available in our Google Classroom. You have to access that. Now for the discussion question, you have to state your research problem and identify the variables in your study. Again, comment your answers on the video. Thank you and have a good day.